Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to the one and only Dee Snider about his new music and other fun stuff. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show, sir.
Great to be here, man. Great to be here.
It's an exciting time. We have a lot to talk about. There's a new record out. You recently joined TikTok. It's gonna be crazy. There's a lot to talk about right now.
Yeah, so TikTok. Okay, we'll get to TikTok in a minute. I need some major advice. This is a bold new world I'm heading into.
It's a brand new world. But the first thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you about, because my viewers are really going to be interested in it, is you made an unbelievable appearance in season 3 of Cobra Kai on Netflix, which was the talk of the town. What was that like for you, and how did that come to be? That was amazing.
You know, it's one of those happy accidents kind of thing.
Yep.
I became friends with Billy Zabka
Yeah.
on the convention circuit. We run into each other fairly often. You know, people know the conventions. They sign autographs, take pictures, and stuff.
Yeah.
And this goes back years ago. And when he was there signing for Karate Kid movies.
Mhm.
And I remember when he said to me, we were hanging out at one of them, he goes, "Hey, yeah, like YouTube is talking about a new show called Cobra Kai." This is years ago, right? And I remember going, "Oh wow, YouTube TV show." I'm like, "Oh, I'm going, who watches that?" Like, I mean, I know that people watched YouTube for TV shows. So then, a couple more years go by, and I mean, we're seeing each other, and and then he says to me, "Hey, man, Netflix is picking up the series. What do you think about doing a cameo on one of the shows?" And I was now friends with Ralph Macchio, who is from Long Island. We actually live in a very similar neighborhood, but we never saw each other before except at the conventions. And I said, "Yeah, sounds like fun, friends, buddy to buddy. Hey, you want to be in my video kind of thing?"
Yeah.
And so then he says, I get a call, and now mind you, it has not aired on Netflix yet. So a third season has not come out. So I was 2018 maybe. I go summer or 2019, the summer of 2019. I go to Atlanta. We film the thing. Ralph's there, Billy's there. It's great. And don't tell Billy, but at that time I had never seen one episode of the show, so I didn't have any idea. So what's going on? I see this guy in a wheelchair being brought in, and and I'm like, "Oh, this is fun." Just my filming a show with my friends. Cut to COVID. And Netflix released season 3, and suddenly people are all the seasons first before season 3. So people are starting to binge watch season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming a thing. And then season 3 gets released, and the anticipation is crazy.
Crazy.
And for season 3, the buildup, and then all of a sudden this little like, "Hey pal, you want to do a moment?" And it just blows up. Over 75 million people watched season 3,
and they surprised us. They put it out on New Year's Day. It came out earlier too.
I remember, and all of a sudden I was back in the Zeitgeist. I mean, within the metal community, I'm always there, and just younger people going, "Who's this guy that Johnny Lawrence said is the most badass rocker?" And hey, he is badass.
Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Yeah, he saved Miguel. So now it's become like, I mean, for younger people, it's like, parents go, "You know who that is?" And they go, "No." I said, "Karate," Cobra Kai. And they go, "Holy shit!" I'm sorry, so it's really like become a really cool thing for me.
Were you part of the process in terms of like what songs we're gonna play? Because obviously "I Want to Rock" is in there, but like were you in the process of that whole kind of, because they show 2 songs, right? You're in there, they get in, and then they do "I Want to Rock." You dedicate it to him. Were you in the process of that of choosing that?
Only a little bit, in that because they first reached out to me, a lot of people expect that it's going to be Dee Snider, Twisted Sister, and I'm going to have the makeup and I'm going to have the costumes. And I said, "Listen, I really love to do this for you, but that's, I don't do that anymore. And if I do it, I got to do it as Dee Snider." And Billy and the producers and writers said, "No. We love you doing as Dee Snider. BD, my logos were there and everything." So, and then when it came to the music, they had in mind, of course, I Wanna Rock was going to be that, this the moment that Miguel got his sense of, I don't know, feeling back in his body. And but then we started talking. They sort of told me what songs they wanted to do, and it was all cool. But I love the fact that they wanted to do it live, so it wasn't like, it didn't sound like a record. You see people like lip syncing. So it's not, records are always more perfect and cleaner, but it really had a feeling like a concert moment. And I like that. And that was their idea. Really.
It was so great. And everyone was talking about it. And I just really had to ask you, because we've interviewed a lot of people from Cobra Kai. We've interviewed Sholo, who plays Miguel on the show. People love Cobra Kai. It's amazing. You have a new record out. Leave a Scar is out. Some singles and some music videos were brought out about that. I mean, an amazing record, a heavy record. Was that kind of a very heavy record?
Yeah. It's definitely. I've discovered the fountain of youth. It's get heavier and harder with age. Don't get mellower and more laid back, because then you're just like slowly edging into the grave. Yeah. I'm like, to me, it's like, I just found, and also. I love that because my music sounds fresher and newer and more contemporary. I'm getting a lot of younger fans, even like this, and again, the Cobra Kai thing has not hurt at all, because kids went and started Googling, like, who is this guy? And they're finding, oh, wow. And he's doing some, if you're into heavy metal, he's doing some really cool things. And
well, a lot of people, though, that were raised on like rock and metal knew who it was. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain, I call that good parenting. Hashtag good parenting, or should hash brown, good parenting. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly they're out there, but like I said, people discovering, it's nice to have new music coming out at a time where people have a heightened awareness of me, and are taking another look and saying, wow, this guy's still, look, I have a song called I Gotta Rock Again. And it says, it's not something I choose, just what I got to do. I'm going to rock till the day I die. And there was a time when I was a kid, I just thought, and I'm saying this to your audience, that, like at some point when you were like really old, like 40s, you would like stop being interested in the music that you loved when you were younger.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. That's why you see these old blues guys and old jazz guys, and the Rolling Stones are still out there, because it doesn't change. That love you had as a kid, it resonates in you, and it kind of keeps your brain, like it's what makes you feel young again as you get
I don't
older.
think I Wanna Rock is ever going to leave high rotations on karaoke playlist, D. I'm telling you right now, it's never going to leave.
We're not going to take it, for that matter. So it's crazy that those songs have a life that's just continued on, and it's great. Look, they just of MTV celebrating 40 years, and we're not going to take it. Was still in one of the top videos considered one of the top videos of all time, and there's not a lot of metal bands from the 80s in there. I think there's a Motley Crue video and a Guns N' Roses, and that's about it. So it's great that when you have anything that stands the test of time.
It's linked a little bit to the Cobra Kai, because I remember growing up, one of my favorite movies growing up with Sean William Scott is Road Trip. And I got the bus scene where they're listening to the I Wanna Rock. That is classic.
That was such a great moment. For me, when that came out, I was in a little bit more of a slump in my career. And it was one of the earlier movies to use it in, because you hear it in so many movies. So Ready Player One is when I'm going to take it the big finale. You hear it all the time now. The new Rachel Ray dog food commercial, I think that's what I'm going to take it on. So it's everywhere. But I remember going to the movie theater with my kids, and they were little, and all of a sudden that moment happened, and the whole theater was like, and I was like, it was kind of like that Wayne's World Bohemian Rhapsody moment in a way. It was very cool.
There are globally, worldwide, there are thousands and thousands of people that grew up. And it's interesting, you said this in interviews, there were some artists out there and some bands for Twisted Sister that it wasn't for those artists, Twisted Sister wouldn't be Twisted Sister. The same thing goes, there's a lot of artists and a lot of people that love Twisted Sister and Dee Snider who say that you are their biggest influences, and if it wasn't for Twisted Sister, they wouldn't be playing music or listening to music. What do you have to say to the thousands and thousands worldwide that look up to Dee Snider and Twisted Sister as an influence? It's pretty crazy.
Well, first of all, let me just say it's still surprises me, especially when someone like I had on my new album, I do a duet with a death metal singer named George Corpse Grinder Fisher. And death metal,
Cannibal Corpse,
is what
another
is that,
movie, Ace Ventura. Sorry, Pet Detective.
Yes, Ace Ventura. They were in there. And when they asked, I said I wanted to have him on the record. They asked him, and he was like so honored. And I found out that he's this huge fan of mine. And you wouldn't necessarily look at him and go, oh, that guy must be a Twisted Sister fan. Yeah. Now, and then I see it with actors and politicians. I mean, I remember I was out doing a show in Vegas, and Angelina Jolie came down. That Angelina Jolie was coming down. She grew up as a big Twisted Sister fan. And I was like, Angelina Jolie, but and again, you look at Angelina Jolie, she's a Twisted Sister. So it kind of makes more sense. But, I say to those people, I hope I haven't let you down. And in the sense that I pride myself on still being the person that I was back then. I stand for all the things I stood for. I'm still like, we're not going to take it guy fighting for people who have no voice and speaking for people with no voice. And I know that sometimes you see your heroes and they get older and they disappoint you. And I hope that I'm one of those that has not disappointed you. You go, just like Johnny Lawrence said, that's Dee Snider, the most bad. Like, it was like, of course, he's still rocking. This is what he does. And so I just hope I'm that guy to everybody.
The mix of going back to Cobra Kai quickly, the mix of the new fans and the old fans, like of the original show, that is like the coolest thing too, that it has this fan base of like the new Cobra Kai fans and the older like Karate Kid fans. It's so cool to see.
That show is positively brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know if the writers realized how brilliant they were being. Creating a show that has, with a young cast that has appeal to the young audience, with the old original cast that has appeal to the parents' audience, the parents who grew up on that stuff, the way they introduce characters and use flashback. So they're explaining to the younger fans, like, why this person is here. Here's, here, this was Johnny and this is Johnny and Danny's girlfriend at one point. And then you see some flashbacks, you go, oh, okay, I get it. It's so good at introducing new stuff to older audiences and old stuff to younger audiences. It's just, it really is kind of a perfect show. It's just such a beautiful surprise. And I think so many people were surprised how much they loved it. And when I finally binge watched every episode, because I couldn't hide I wasn't hiding. I just, he was my friend, but like, I'm sure he hasn't listened to every song I've done. And when my wife and I watched it, we fell in love with the show and go, wow, I'm so glad I said yes.
It is amazing. And I'm sure the amount of, Spotify streams and YouTube like searches for I Want to Rock skyrocketed afterwards, because it was in all our heads after that.
Like I said, it was crazy. I remember, it's just the things that I got invited to speak before like 97th grade kids. And it was about censorship, because I had a big, in the 80s, I was very involved in a fight against censorship in Washington. But they were there and knew about me because of Cobra Kai. Yeah, they were paying attention because the guy from Cobra Kai. So it was like, okay, and he's talking about censorship. So they were listening to me. Of course, when it came to the Q&A, it was like, so what is Johnny Lawrence like in real life? So things like that, which is fine.
Absolutely. You mentioned MTV, and we're not going to take it in the music videos. I mean, Twisted Sister arguably have the craziest, greatest music videos of all time, where there's so much going on in them. I'm just curious, because I remember, Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day a while ago talked about how music videos aren't as popular anymore. People aren't playing music videos. I kind of disagree with that. Maybe MTV wasn't playing as many, but I don't think the music video has gone away. Do you agree with that a little bit?
You know what? This is an age thing. The older people, because it's not where they used to get it from. MTV is now a lifestyle channel.
Yep.
And you know, and so, and they're like, oh, what happened to music television, you know? But it's on YouTube, it's elsewhere. And when you go and you check out videos, new videos, and you see millions and millions and millions. I mean, Bon Jovi, who's an older act but has newer music, they just hit 1 billion views on Who Says You Can't Go Home, I think is the song.
Yep.
I mean, 1 billion without MTV. So there is places where people can find videos, and you know, and yeah, I think it's still a powerful format. Unfortunately, I don't know, certain genres they really they still appreciate and respect and spend the money on the video and see the importance. I think in the pop world, in the hip hop world, country, but in rock, you know, on my videos, We're Not Gonna Take It was like the first of the huge budget videos. People, that whole storyline, actors, a cast, it was like a mini movie, and it changed the game back then. Now, this is truth. My new album comes out, and I got $5,000 to do 2 videos. And I've got me, my wife, who's always done my hair and makeup, and a guy with an iPhone. And I'm going, and I remember doing $1 million videos. I go, what happened? They don't spend that money in the rock and roll world. They only spend it in the pop and hip hop world.
Oh, absolutely. Dee, I wanted to thank you so much for taking some time and coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, you know, and you know, and people, like, you know, I've told you this is a very heavy record.
Yep.
No doubt about it. But there is probably something for everybody on there. And I would just like to say that this is a record I didn't expect to make, but the state of the world in 2020 woke me up and forced me back in the studio, said this is a time, not a time to be quiet. This is a time to make music, and make music that's got messages for people, because people are really feeling kind of beat up about the COVID world, the political world. And I realized that I've been blessed to be that We're Not Gonna Take It guy, one of those.
We need a heavy rock record.
Yeah, but also someone who tries to, you know, I got a song on there called Down But Never Out. And I always try to lift people out, because we got the crap kicked out of us in 2020 with COVID. And at the same time, I want to remind people we're not beaten, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, this was a really bad time for a lot of people, but we can come back. We always come back. So, and you know, I have a song, a ballad called Stand.
Yeah.
One of those reports, like, We're Not Going to Take It for its time. Basically just reminding people, you got a voice, use it. Don't let the extremes, the loudest people in the room, don't let them decide for you. You know, you can speak up, you can speak out, make sure your voice is heard. And Dee's here to, if you don't have the voice, I'll be that voice for you. You know, sing Stand along with Dee.
Absolutely. Can you plug away quickly in terms of, you know, where they can get the record? The music videos are on YouTube, your social media. Can you plug away?
Of course, YouTube, all those outlets. Napalm Records has the album, but I've seen it's available on all kinds of outlets, iTunes and Amazon and Target, and everybody's got the record, which is great. But also, I've got a live stream thing currently going over at metaldepartment.tv. Metaldepartment.tv. If you forget that, just type Dee Snider live stream, and it's rolling for this month. So it's a live concert event. Not too many concerts out there these days. So if you want a home concert event, get the live stream, crank it up, and rock out with.
And we'll put all the links to check it out in the description of this video.
And what did Johnny Lawrence say? Rock out with the most badass rocker ever. That's going to be on my tombstone, right?
And I do have to tell you very quickly before we wrap up that the Twisted Christmas Christmas CD is listened to every year. My mom rocks it every year. She listens to it all the time. I'm just letting you know that.
Mom. I love your mom. Hashtag good parenting or child abuse, depending how you think of it. But yeah, you know, I was, that comes from, like, I always said, where's the metal Christmas music? And so
but you talk about, though, how things don't have a shelf life, right? Like that just every year is listened, like every year.
I know. It's amazing. And again, a blessing. So Great talking to you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, all the information about Dee Snider's new record and on the live stream will be available in our description. Until next time, this is Dee Snider and PD Beats signing
I want people to write to Cobra Kai and say Dee Snider's got to come back and save the day.
Yes,
in the next season.
Dee Snider, Cobra Kai Season 4. Make it happen.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.